Okay, I think it's time, let's go. Okay. Okay. At this time, I'm gonna go ahead and call the meeting to order for the April of 2024 council meeting. Today's the 22nd day of April. Time 6 o'clock. First thing I'd like to do is to welcome our visitors. Thank you all for coming. And then the opening prayer on that, Dennis, if you would.
Sure. God, tonight I ask you to help that family up at Buchanan right now that's having to view their son's body that got killed a few weekends ago. He was a senior down here at Ranburne School, 17 years old. I do not know how I could cope if it was my kid that had got killed in an accident. I just ask that you be with the family in some way, somehow, just give them the understanding one day of why. Now go with this meeting. God, give each one of us the wisdom that we need tonight, and just help us always. And God, we love you so much, and thank you for the many blessings you do give each one of us. Amen.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
Okay, first thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the March meetings.
Is there anything different on there that?
No, it's exactly what I said. I had to change the thing. Once that goes out, like I will alert you.
The email.
Sorry.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Got a motion here, second.
I'll second. Or Mitch?
Trevor, Dennis.
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
Okay. Our call meeting was on the
For,
29.
the 15th.
20.
Oh, 15.
April
That's
15th, tax day.
In contact.
Yeah, that's 15. We don't have a copy of those minutes. So I guess we'll have to wait till the next meeting to approve those, right? Okay. All right.
Do you mind giving me the taping of the minutes, the meeting that I asked for?
My tape recorder didn't work. We went out for that. We went out and then we'll come back in, and for some reason it just didn't work. I got some of it, but we got it on video too. And
Was it recording while we were in executive session?
no,
You cut it off?
well,
Yeah.
no, yeah, mine did. Yeah, I
Yeah.
cut mine off and he cut his off too. I think that's right. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. All right, so the minutes have been approved. Now we'll go to the financials for the month of March.
Cleburne County Dispatch Service. Have we had that on there? Is that for the county to come out here?
No, we sign contracts every year for them to do dispatching for instance.
Okay.
Like if they make a call out there to dispatch,
Mhm.
they make a recording of it and everything, and that's how they charge us, for dispatching.
Okay.
What
And they
is
do
it?
that for the county as well.
What page is it on, Christian?
5.
Because I think it's high, or is it?
3,000.
3,000 and an inmate. I just wonder, is this because we've gone to court somewhere? Okay.
Hold on just a minute, let me get there. Okay. That particular dispatch, it's normally, I'm gonna say it's $581.94, but it's something, it's close to $600. But they had not billed us since October. I had no idea we were supposed to be paying it, so I got one and had to call them and say, what is this? And they said, oh, this is an agreement between us, and so that gets us.
That's why it seems
Yes,
so high.
exactly.
Okay.
It's normally I think it's $581.94, but don't quote me on that, but it's 5 something.
A month.
Uh-huh,
Okay.
and that's a set rate. And then you pay for calls that they service us when, like, they have to go out and our police aren't available for whatever reason there is. And then, of course, you have inmate charges.
This deposit of $45,000 on March 25th. That was from a DECA
What page?
Which page are you
on page 1,
on?
at the top,
Yes.
deposit.
Mhm.
Has those bills been paid
Wait, I'm not seeing where you want.
I don't know, it's
Me either.
page 1.
on the
Oh, on the,
general fund statement?
Bank statement.
It's got deposit,
okay. I'm on a different something.
Yeah, I don't think, I'm working off of
This.
QuickBooks, so.
Oh, yeah.
Because we just got them for one more payment, right?
well, what happened was, when I looked at it and I saw that, I didn't realize, and it just flew over my head, I guess, but the account was closed in February, the CDGV fund. When we had an agreement with DECA for that grant for the senior center, part of that agreement was that we would have an account, because what they do is they take a draw. They, like Terry Akup says down there, and says, I need a draw for this amount right here. They send us a check, and we sign the checks and send them out to them. And, it's like, that there was $45,000 something. So, when I called him, he said, y'all closed it? And I said, yeah. He said, why? And I said, I really can't give you a good answer. I said, we did. I know. I said, we voted on it, I think. I said, but, he said, well, he said, you know you're gonna get audited on that. And I said, well, what happened is it was put into our general fund account, that's where I saw it. And I said, I guess it's because we didn't have no other place to put it, you know. And he said, well, you'll get audited, on this. And he said, as long as you're able to prove, you know, what you have spent. He said, but that was the reason that DECA requires that, to have that CDBG fund. What that is, community block grant community development block grant, CDBG. And that's through DECA. So we closed that account, we probably shouldn't have. But at the same time, he said that he had one more check. He had one more draw for $4,500, and he said that will be it. Now, I haven't seen the 4,500 yet.
4,500 or 45,000?
4,500.
If you go to page 3 of your profit and loss detail, it explains that it's from the state volume going into the senior center, the memo.
Yeah.
But those haven't been paid yet, have they?
They have.
When did we pay them? Because I got Sager's calling, won't know where the check is.
What day did they call?
It's been about a week ago or more, something, I don't know the exact date.
I don't know, I mean, they didn't pay the bill.
I don't remember ever signing a check to Sager.
Maybe Dennis signed it, he's been signing the checks the last 2 times.
You remember?
I don't remember one that big.
Well, I'll go pull it, and we can look at it.
Yeah.
But anyway, he told me, he said, you will get audited on this. When it, he said that's something that they do when they get through, because they want to make sure that the money that they sent is paid, is paid out correctly. That's just the thing they do. So this ballot here of 314, it's gonna be about $45,000 less in the next month or whatever.
Oh, it's, 100,000, I believe, probably. How much is it, say 314, we're, yeah, $75,000 less, we're at 50. But, y'all get the finances at the first of the month of where we are.
Okay.
I'll send them right on now. You have to just wait on stuff to clear, which is why the QuickBooks is so beneficial to us, because if we look at that, it's real time, because it calculates all your checks out, if you're recording all your deposits and all your checks in.
Okay.
There's no false thing.
Well, that's the only question I got on that.
You just look that Saga check down.
I will.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did pay them all.
I make a motion to accept.
Okay, I've got a motion to accept.
Second.
Got a second?
Need to see Dennis?
Yes.
Okay. Next thing on the agenda is report from Barry Nolan. Now, he couldn't be here tonight. He had a ball game or something he had to be at. But he has left us with a report. I got one somewhere.
Here's mine, I'm gonna read it.
Y'all want me to read that for you? Just, no need of it. Okay. He does a very good job on that, by the way, I thought. Okay. Okay, now we'll go to the report from Tasha from Senior Center.
I really don't have any update on anything new or old going on.
Okay.
We do have several fundraisers that we do have coming up. One next Sunday that we're doing with Brushstrokes from Bowden. She's coming to the Senior Center to do that. We have a car show here, May the 25th, and very excited about that. I've reached out to Ryan Robertson. He's coming to do live music, entertainment for us all day, free of charge. Bama Freeze is coming with they make the little ices or whatever. They're coming to set up, and we get a profit off of everything they make that day. So everybody bring all the kids and make them beg for snow cones. We get a profit off of that. Also, Accurate Forklift is donating $100 worth of gift cards to give away as door prizes and t-shirts and hats to give away that day. First Bank of Alabama has already said that they will donate. I haven't been down there. I don't know exactly what they'll do yet, but very, very excited about this fundraiser. It's going to be a good one.
And it's this Sunday.
May the 25th. Yes, it's
You're gonna push it out
Memorial
on social media.
Yes.
I've already put it on.
Yes,
Facebook.
I have made
Salsa.
flyers, and I've put it on our Facebook page, and I've put a few flyers around, but really gonna push this. Abernathy is having a car show at the fire department, or at Fireworks City this coming, May 11th. So I'm gonna make sure that I get flyers to pass out there too, and just push that. I think it's gonna be a great thing. Trying to think of anything else. Can't think of anything else. But we have a new homebound. We had to take one of our homebounds off, And we added a new that was on the waiting list, which is actually a lot closer to us. But we've done that, and we've gotten a new congregant. So just trying to spread the word. I told my people that we're going to get together, and we're going to go door to door, and we're going to do visitation just like we used to do at church. We're going to invite. So
And how's the vehicles holding up? We're
good,
They're
good. We actually need brakes on the truck. We've got in touch with Brian, so we're gonna do all that good stuff. Is he here? Oh, yep, there he is. So other than the brakes on the black truck, everything else is
Okay.
good.
They're both holding up good to go.
Mhm.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else?
Nothing I think of. Y'all have any questions? I'm trying to think.
Good report.
I don't.
Okay, next report from Samantha.
Okay, so this month, we completed a workers' comp audit for our workers' comp insurance. And unbeknownst to me, we had lapsed last year for a period of time. I just kind of figured that out in passing. But I've made notes on the calendar so that we don't have that situation. They just cancel it. If you don't complete this audit form, they cancel it. And then it's a process to get it opened back up. I just try to kind of understand, and I've made notes on the calendar. We also completed an audit for the senior center finances. She came, went over everything. We passed with flying colors, with one exception. They have a new requirement that you show them the findings from your last audit, your financial audit. This is all finance. So like, because we haven't had an audit, we weren't able to produce that. So I told her the situation that we're in, that we were hoping, not even hoping, I just said we're gonna have it October 20, this year. And so what she put it in the notes of our audit that we would supply that to her in October, and so all I have to do is send her a copy. And then moving forward, that's a requirement. We also completed the Census Bureau review, and I had to make a note on that too. Next year, we'll have to include the new people in, that we've just annexed in. I think that's it for me. Oh, today, roof guys came, and he said that 100% we need to be looking at a roof sooner rather than later. He said there is a ton of rotten wood. Tons. He said the nails won't even hold. They're just looking for spots. And he showed me rusty nails they're pulling out. They tried to do the best they could to fix it. But upstairs, the hole that we have in the roof, the pan is rusted out completely. So I'm gonna have to call Bain and get them to come out and replace that pan. And then we have, wood there and the ceiling that we'll have to repair.
Anything else? Okay. Now we're gonna jump to old business. Tammy Perry told me she was coming.
She had car trouble and she is not gonna be able to be here. But I sent her what I was gonna share with you guys, so you can look at it, and, I think I did. I made y'all a copy. I'm honestly, after Tammy and I have spent quite a bit of time in the last few months trying to understand more about abatement. And honestly, I think we're to the point where it's kind of black and white and we should be able to vote on it, but, of course, that's on y'all. But, I'm just gonna give you the little bit of knowledge that I've gained from sitting with Tammy, and then also, she and I have, benefited from some conversations with the Revenue Commissioner, and then also with Senator Price's wife. She's supposedly the abate guru, and so she shared a world of information just to help us understand it in layman terms. So what I'm understanding is that sales tax, that is the equipment that they would buy, bring it into Ranburne, Alabama, they would have to pay sales tax on that. It's a one-time shot. It comes in, they pay the sales tax, and then that's it.
On the piece of equipment they
On the
purchased.
equipment that they purchased.
Okay.
That's the sales tax. Okay, well then obviously you have use tax, which is part of the property tax, like whenever, they'll have to report what they, like the machinery, the desk, just like every other company, you report everything that you've got as assets, and they'll pay a use tax on that. I don't have any way to estimate that, so just kind of put that, and remember that you'll have that, it's not an enormous amount, it's $240 per $100,000 worth of value.
241.
$240
So it's
per
that last
100,000. That's your last bullet. So what they have on property tax is real property, which is like you and I consider it's real property, and then you have business property. The machine would be considered business property, and then they're real property, obviously. But just an example would be on a $10 million piece of equipment, initially, if it's valued at $10 million, you would get $24,000, but obviously it loses, it depreciates over that 10-year period.
So when they sell pallets to Mercedes-Benz and Tuscaloosa,
Zero.
we don't get any sales tax?
Everybody that they sell to is
Tax.
tax exempt. So you're not getting any sales. That's where I was getting all super confused, because sales tax for our revenue obviously is people who are buying stuff here. But for them, for this particular, it's sales tax and bringing it in here. Think about you as Amazon. Like if we order from Amazon, they drop it off at Trevor's house, then the tax is coming here. And I can look at it on our, payments and see, oh yeah, Amazon has sent us money, or FedEx, or whoever is selling it to them. Not necessarily FedEx, but whoever's selling it to them.
So that, because they've got a building at 60,000 square foot building right now, and they're waiting on a piece of equipment to come in. I think it's coming in October, September, Octoberish. So they've already purchased it. Does that mean, should we pass this quicker, or is it gonna be, let me ask you this, that piece of equipment gets here in October. All right, we get a half of that, or whatever percentage, okay? Are we still getting a percentage on the other equipment sitting in those buildings right now, the
No,
prior to
because all
that?
that's abated.
All that was abated. So just from the day we passed this,
No,
beyond.
it's the new piece of property, because they've already got one new piece of property, am I right? And then a second piece is coming in.
Well, all right, where the new building is at, that's a 60,000 square foot.
Right.
Equipment's coming in October. The projected is to put an 80,000 square foot building that's graded beside it.
I think two are going in one building and one in the other, but don't
Yeah,
quote
it may
me.
be. Yeah,
Don't quote me on
no,
that.
we're not gonna quote each other on that. No.
Right, I'm getting myself confused, but what I understood is that at some point they will have three pieces of machinery. Originally, they thought two,
Okay.
but now they're up to three.
Okay.
And so, but I guess the biggest thing you have to understand is that equipment, like we've abated everything that they've done so far. We will not receive anything off of property, machinery, anything that they've done to date, except when they put up this new building. That increases their property value. But again, like you're still not gonna get anything on the real property, but now you're talking business property. So you will get something off of that. It's that formula that I just gave you, but the machine itself, this big machinery, you have the potential
That'll make a little bit of money.
$125,000, $135,000. But it's a one-time shot. If you abate it, it's gone.
Okay. So this abatement right now that they're under runs out in 26, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
I know that for sure.
Okay, and so we can do, that abatement's got to go, okay, but we can do another half or whatever we decide to do, starting now, or how do you do like the two? Because they're under one abatement. Do you null and void that one from, you can't?
No.
Right, so how do you go from 24 to?
It will only
forever?
apply to this piece.
Can Terry wants to say something?
What the first abatement was, I think, and I'm doing this from memory because I can run and get my briefcase. I think sales tax, it was 18 months. And after that 18 months, they had to pay sales tax on anything else they bought. The real estate deal is one that's fixing to run out in
26.
26. That's only on property and buildings. So they're supposed to have been paying sales tax after the 18 months on anything. But this equipment that's coming in now, if y'all abate it, that's just a one-time deal, like she said. And then the building, the real estate part, will be a separate abatement. and you can do it or not do it, but you're gonna put a time limit on that. And I would suggest you put a time limit on the sales tax.
Hey, Trevor, this is what she gave to us. She met with Terry and I
Yeah.
about this. And it pretty much explains, this front page right here, it explains what they're asking us for, okay? They have to pay the $27,000 to the school tax. That doesn't go to Ranburne, it goes to the schools, period. All over, and that's $27,000 paid over a 10-year period. Okay, they're asking for 10 years.
You can't exempt
Right.
education.
Yeah, you can't exempt that. So then, they got down, the state taxes, the state tax is $162,000 that they have to pay to the state. And it says that the city taxes would be $135,000, but it would be, and this is based on a 10-year, 50% on building materials, none on the equipment. The tax of the manufacturing rate for new manufacturing machinery is at 3%. In other words, they're saving, this is what they're saving, $324,000 over a 10-year period. So basically, we're getting peanuts. You know what I'm saying? I'll let you look at that.
Yeah,
Have you seen that?
I did, I think, so.
But that was one of the reasons I was hoping that maybe that Tammy could be here, because there's too many questions to be asked.
I guess what I wanna know, all right, if we
She
come
said
in,
that if you'll tell me questions, I can ask her anything.
I guess what I would like to know, okay, if we can, what's the process to go in and start getting some money off this upcoming machine that's coming?
Just say we're not abating.
Yeah, I don't agree with the abatement. I want to get money from the machine that they're getting this year and future machines, is what I feel like we deserve.
The way I understand from talking, I could be wrong, but Tammy was telling us, I mean, I think when she was talking to me and Terry about it, and we have been working on this for a long time. Back when Senator Price came up, and we talked to him up there at Freedom. So this has been an ongoing deal. She is only there, you know, as part of the industrial board. She's doing this on behalf of the industrial board to either bring industry in or to keep industry, I guess you'd say. That's her job. So she's got in there and she's come up with this formula that they want, And so that's what she sat down and talked with me and Terry about. There's really nothing more than what she just told us.
The last, when we did the original abatements, the only thing that was tied to it was jobs. There had to be 50 jobs. And I don't know if that's tied to this one or not, because see, they're not gonna bring it before us. Industrial board's just they're gonna make a decision for us, which I don't agree with, but that's the way state law is.
Yeah.
We the ones that gotta pay the bills, but they're gonna let somebody else say, nah, you ain't gotta pay the
But now, correct me if I'm wrong, but they tend to follow whatever the city does.
No,
No?
they're gonna do what they want to.
Okay.
When they did Southward did that addition last year before last.
Yeah.
They did come ask us for an opinion, but that was as far as
That
it
was it.
went.
Okay.
But the city said they would abate the property. No, they would abate the machine, but not the sales tax, but not the property. Which, that's a lot better than nothing, but not much. Southward done had the thing built, done had almost an operation before they ever come and ask for abatement, so my
Okay.
opinion was,
Okay.
hey, it's already there, they're not gonna move it,
That's kind of how we are.
so.
Yeah, we just gotta make a decision about what we wanna do.
I think it's a no-brainer. What we need to do is don't agree to an abatement and make them pay sales tax.
I agree 100%.
So would the next move to be is to let her know whatever she needs to do, plan of action, to get the ball rolling?
Yeah, she's ready for us to just give her a vote. If we say a yes or a no, or whatever our specifics are to the abatement, if we want to do that. And that's, they're waiting for a vote.
When we say specifics, I want to make sure that, you know, that she understands exactly, you could relay that to her, you know, we want as much money out of it as we can, regardless of how you gotta do it.
But then, there's no.
Am I wrong to say that?
If we say no abatement, well, then we will get full benefits of whatever the sales and use tax and the property tax is, if we vote no to the abatement. They just continue to get what they've gotten until 26, and then all bets are off. But we will get the property and that's it for now. I mean, not the property, but the sales tax
Sales tax.
on that machinery.
Right.
Can I talk, Rod?
Yeah,
I mean, if you wanted to give them something, but not give them the whole bucket, just tell them to debate the property tax until 26, which is only gonna give them 2 years.
On the new building, and that's gonna
Yeah,
cost you
but
somewhere around $50,000.
Then you're still gonna get the sales tax off the equipment, which that's the big part of money. But, I mean, that'd be an option if y'all wanted to do it that way.
How would they go about it? I wonder what they would think.
who knows?
It's kind of like you said with Southwire. I mean, they've already got the building there. What are the chances of them leaving? And if they left, right, and if they left, they're not gonna get the deal that we've given them, probably.
We've not gotten 1 cent.
Uh-uh.
We've got not 1 cent since we agreed to that abatement back whenever.
Do you do percentages on abatement, Terry, or half, or what?
You can do it any way you wanna do it. You can say, we'll abate half the sales tax on X piece of equipment, or we'll abate property tax for 50%, or, I mean, you can do whatever
You
you
can
want to
slice it up however you want to.
I thought,
Because they're gonna have to be a contract written up, or a MOU or something.
yeah.
I'd like to know how much it would save, how much it would be, their property tax would be between now and 26.
Well, the machinery itself, you know, because that's their business property, that machinery is gonna run you, like, because right now it's valued at $10,000. Now, I guess once it's dropped, it's less, but $240 per 100,000 of value. So you're gonna cost yourself, think about it logically, about maybe $50,000 in 2 years.
But you can split that up, you don't have to abate that. You can just abate purely property tax.
Right.
Or you could do, you know, you could do it any way you wanna do it, you can divide it up. You got sales tax, you got property tax, and then you got the use tax, or whatever they're calling it
use
on the
tax.
equipment.
Right. So,
You can do it all, you can do none of it, you can do one, you can do 50% of one and no on the rest.
So what if you go in like with 50% property, and then we try to get as much sales and use tax out of it? Or do you go 100% on all of it?
No abatement.
I mean, they've sat down there for years.
How long have they been there? Do you know?
well, the abatement started 8 years ago.
2013,
Okay.
I think that's right. That's when the first abatement come down, I think.
No, it ain't been that.
No,
2000. I was
2000,
in office, it was about 2016,
yeah, 2006.
because we had a big meeting with the senators and
That would have been the 10 years.
Yeah,
everybody
10
done
years at
Six.
26.
City Hall.
26.
It's 2016.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll get nothing, continue to get nothing until
2 more.
that runs out to 26.
Unless we pass it.
Unless we give them another opportunity to,
Well, the day I talked to him, you know, he was with, they're willing to pay. They need the help in some other areas, like water tank. And, you know, that was a big thing that they need to do. They need help.
they're
Water
working,
tank.
they're working with the water department.
Yeah, and so
Is a
that,
grant available? Do you know?
I don't know.
I called, and those types of grants are very, very difficult to get. You can get them, but I mean, pretty much it's,
Tammy told me a couple of weeks ago that they got a grant for that water tower.
did they?
That's what she told me, I hadn't seen it, but
Okay.
I
That
can
was just
ask
a
her
phone
real quick, she's
conversation
on
I had
standby.
with her.
Okay. That'd be great.
That'd be awesome. Because they were gonna deed the property to the state or whomever, if they, you know, if the state was gonna help or something. But, you know, that, without a grant, they said they would do whatever they gotta do.
Now, I'm just repeating what she told me, so.
Yeah, maybe so.
Like I said, that was a phone call I had with her. And far as the turning lane and all that stuff, all that's on Randy Price. I mean, there ain't nothing the county can do about that, that's state road. Ain't nothing y'all can do about it.
It's not no problem, it's a problem.
Turning lanes sometimes, when they come in.
Big trucks or whatever.
Egress. Egress coming in and out, everything else. And nobody knows who the trees belong to up there. The state says them, they say the state,
Yeah.
so it's a little contest.
And they don't want to tear them down because that, telephone line,
Okay.
will tear
What
the
do we need to
business
do?
up.
Do what?
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm on road. Or you can go.
I think,
You know,
I make a motion, we give no abatement.
okay, got a motion for no abatement, we have a second.
Second.
And that's Trevor, and who's the second? Dennis. And Christie and Mitzi.
yes, sir.
And make them work it out, you know. Get a good contract, let's look at it, I guess before we run off up there and say, hey, there's gonna be no abatement.
Yeah, they would. Hang on.
Let's all get a good
Go ahead and
contract.
something like that. Now, I've been working on this thing since back in the beginning. Myself, now we got two people working on it. Do y'all want me to continue to work on it, or you want Samantha to work on it?
Well, it's gonna run through the industrial board, correct?
Yes, it goes to the industrial board, but I have, me and Terry and the senator and all have been working on this since.
I mean, it's a conglomerate of everybody.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
I don't want two people talking to Tammy. It's confusing.
I feel like we need to all work on it. All,
Yeah.
everybody work together.
I
But
think
somebody
more
gotta be the
information.
point person, that's what I'm saying, the point person. Somebody gotta be the one to talk to Tammy. And.
Well, we're paying her to do this work, so let's let Samantha do it. She's getting paid to do it. We're paying her to do work.
Yeah, well, that's fine, if y'all want me.
I'm not saying we don't want you, I want everybody, part of what we're paying her to do a job that we would get money back from.
Yeah,
And so, that'd be my, you know, as a person that's employed people in the past, I pay you to do something, do it. So,
yeah.
and so
But
she comes up here.
I just wanted some for my part, you know, just, do I need to back off or whatever? Because we don't need two people talking to Tammy. And if she wants to talk to Tammy, y'all want her to talk to Tammy, that's fine with me. And I understand your point, I really do. I just want some clarification on my part, because I don't wanna continue to be in touch with Tammy if I don't need to.
Don't need two people asking the same.
That, yes, exactly.
I say we're paying her a salary or an hour, you know, hourly rate to do something. Let her work on it.
Y'all,
Be some more work
can we
on
put
it.
that in a
instead.
motion or something?
Well, I've
To
enjoyed
do that?
learning about it, I really have.
So that there's no
Do you like that?
misunderstanding.
That's handling, put it in the minutes.
Yeah, just put it in the minutes that Samantha will handle with Tammy and Rodney's out. Okay. Okay. Is that all on the abatement that we got right now?
I think so.
Okay, all right, good. The road repair update. I talked to Lee Estes, he's got a work order for them to patch that little hole up there on George Avenue. He thought that they had already done it, but he told me to check and see, and I checked today and it hadn't, that little hole has not been patched. So he told me to let him know, and they get right on it.
And who was that? I missed that.
Yes, sir.
Lee.
Yeah. On the dog release update, the The K-9 handler has not got back with me, and we had been in touch with one another about that, and I told her what was needing, and she said she would, and then she told me that we were texting each other back and forth. In the last text, I told her she was sick, and then I told her, I said, well, just let me know, and I'll meet you somewhere or whatever, and we get that done, but I haven't heard another word from her, and I doubt very seriously that we are. That's all I can do.
I don't blame them.
Huh?
I don't blame them.
Well, the lease, is, the lease that we got, she signed the lease. And, I mean, she signed the release, release, I'm sorry, release. And she's already paid the money, we've already accepted it, so,
So we're probably just done.
yeah, it's done. Yeah, done. Okay. On the budget, I have no idea about that, I think. Do what?
Samantha's gonna show us.
Okay.
Did you get a copy from Dennis today?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Okay, so honestly, what you need to know is this is work in motion. What we are trying to do is just get everything, anything that we feel like we would owe or that might come up in the process of a year and get it down on paper so we can say, oh my goodness, or hey, that looks great, or we need to do more there, just like this roof we just talked about. Like if we know that's coming up, then we take care of it in our budget for next year. Honestly, this is a working budget for this year. So from October to September 23 to 24, we're gonna have to have this to pass our audit. But right now, all I've done is just get down some approximate figures or averages of what you're paying for specific things. I've pulled it out in general fund, senior fund, police fund, and then I have your income. And this is when I want y'all to just start chewing it up. Say, no, we're not gonna pay that, or check on that, whatever you feel like we need to work on. Because if you look very closely, right now, your expenses, this is, again, it's just an average, but your expenses are $378,000, well, no, $470,000, I'm sorry, it's on the last page at the top. That's your total expenses for a year's time. Your income is $378,000 for a year's time.
We need to, can I say something on that? I think we need to have a work session, and let's sit down and talk this over, because there's a whole lot of questions on here. We got to, I think we all have to come to an agreement with what we got.
And I think this is I agree with you,
Mhm.
but I think this is a really good start, that we can all
It
take
is.
this home and look over it in our own
Right.
time, not under pressure, and come together with questions, just like she said, chew it up
Yeah,
and see,
we just need to set a work session, right?
well, I mean,
Yeah, we need to. I mean, we need to have a work session to go over this. This is too important. Okay?
I haven't looked at it enough to even, I will be honest, I haven't looked
I
at it
do
enough.
have the projector, and what I'll be able to do is whenever you guys say, okay, Samantha, that seems very excessive, let's drop that down to 400 instead of 500, I'll be able to plug that right in and y'all will see what it does to your bottom dollar. And we'll just sit here and plug away until y'all are comfortable that this is set in stone. And what then I will do, I'm gonna go ahead and start working toward this, but I'll go back and pick up October now. I'm gonna start working on that and put actual, so you'll have a budget figure and an actual figure, and then you'll know where you are projected to be by the end of the year. And I'll start putting in actual, I'm hoping next week.
Okay, so we're gonna have, we'll just have to set a work session sometime here in the future about this, okay? Everybody look it over in the future, okay? Is there anything else on that, on the budget? Okay. All right, roof repair, she's already told you what they said today. They came and worked on it today. Looks like we're gonna be in for having to pay for a roof at some point in time here. that'd be something we'd have to put in the budget, you know. So we got that. The next thing on here is any payment approvals. Now, I don't know what that's about.
I only have one thing this particular meeting, and it's, I really don't think I have to have your approval, because we've already approved equipping the vehicles. So I don't have that final bill from Buster Miles yet. What I do have is like a partial bill for some spotlights that they put on each one of, so it's $1,123. I'm gonna go ahead and pay it. I think it should be included in that, if y'all are okay with it, when we previously approved to equip those vehicles. And other than that, I don't have anything over the $1,000 mark.
Okay, going to the next thing on vehicles at Ledbetter, Chris has offered to pay us $300 salvage for the Ford Crown Vic. He's gonna do us up a title and that kind of stuff. Then the police vehicle, I've sort of left that with Barry to make a decision what he wants to do with Steve's old car. It is sitting down there, it is drivable. It's like he said, the seat's broke, that kind of stuff. You can get it and drive it, but.
Sounds dangerous for a seat to be broken.
Well, it is, but it's not broke like you think. I mean, it is broke. You can get in there and wobble around a little bit.
Your Papa Willie.
Yeah.
Probably would.
Yeah, your Papa Willie said that.
Yeah, so I'm leaving that up to him. And on the Kia, that was donated to us by Ricky Pritchard. And I talked to Ricky, and I've also talked to Chris and them. They are aware of this. He said that he was going to send out here to get it. He hasn't done it yet. But I keep reminding him, okay? And of course, Chris and them just wait for him to come get it. So it's sitting out there now. Okay, so that's all the vehicles right there. On the lease, I'm sorry, the land lease on the Rays, I have it signed. It was signed on April the 11th. Melissa Norton met me at the bank. I can't notarize my own signature, so we got the bank to do it. I've had this lease since April the 11th. And so this is the original right here. It needs to be recorded. And that needs to go to Samantha to put in the,
Does this include the extra land that we bought?
yes.
Okay.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Chad's the one that did our lease. And nothing changed. Nothing changed on the lease. It's just a renewal
Just
for this
added that
next
land.
year.
I just added the land, right?
Yeah. And all that Melissa's got to do is to provide Samantha with the insurance. Because in that lease, it says they have to provide us with verification of insurance.
You need insurance.
That just needs to go in their file. Okay. All right, that takes care of that. As you know, I sent y'all some information today about the bus. The bus, we had a reserve sale of $25,000, and much to my surprise, at 3 o'clock, we got a $25,000 bid. The guy's out of Auburn. He's got a construction company. They've already sent me, and I sent y'all what it says, you know. And so we just, yeah, we'll get 20. In other words, he's having, if you'll notice, if you'll look at that, he has to pay like $28,000. But the check will $25,000 be sent to Samantha as the financial officer. And then they'll be deposited and earmarked. I'd say it had to be earmarked. We need to make sure of that, because if we're gonna buy something else, like they were wanting a 15-passenger van, one that you don't have to have CDL, but we want one that's got the handicap door. They're sort of hard to come by, but they can get them. Adeka told me that they could get us a nice one, because they're connected up all over the country. they said that they just have to be choosy, pick on it and everything. So, we can do that. I mean, we got all kind of options. There's other options out there, y'all. I mean, this ain't just something that I think. This is something that we all need to be involved in to look at, to see what is the best thing we can get and at the best price.
Tash, why don't you just start looking? That's what you come up with.
Okay,
Okay. Now the next meeting, or more.
okay.
So when is he gonna pick it up? I didn't read that last thing.
I don't know.
was at the
I don't
doctor's.
know. I haven't talked to the guy.
Okay, all right.
He called me. It was really odd.
He had to chase us down to even look at it.
I
We
remember
were
you
gone
telling
in
me.
it that
Yeah,
day.
maybe,
Yeah,
yeah.
he
Tell me
called,
about
he
that.
sent me a message, you know how they'll send you a message like how long the bus and this kind of stuff. He sent me one, said, can I come and look at it today? So I wrote him back the message and I said, well, they're using it today. So by the time I called him, he was 15 minutes from running. And he said, I said, well, the bus is in Fruithurst. He said, where's that? And so I had to tell him where Fruithurst was.
And by the time he called me, we were finished eating at Fruithurst and headed to Oxford. So he was like chasing us everywhere.
Well, he did look at it. I have not heard back from him since then, but he does own a construction company and he is the high bidder. I was surprised. I think even Adeka was surprised because that's a 2010 bus.
But low mileage.
It's low mileage, but it's a 2010. And so, I was getting all kind of messages. One of them said, what's that check engine like? I don't know. I don't have a check engine thing.
So, can he back out of the deal, or is it a?
No, it's good.
Sell it.
No, I'm saying he, like, if he sleeps on it tonight, calls tomorrow.
Can he?
Can he back out of it?
I guess it's
Just play
good.
devil's
We just got to
advocate.
approve the settlement.
I'll make a motion to approve 7.
Got a motion, got a second?
Sell it.
I hate it, you gotta get busy finding something else.
Do something you can grab.
Christie and Mitzi.
Yes.
When that money comes in, it needs to go into we need to earmark that money.
For a future senior citizens vehicle.
Right.
Okay. How can we do that? Can you make that happen in the book somehow?
She can put it into the general fund under,
I'll put it in the seniors, because we already voted one time and have it in the minutes that it has to go in the senior center account. So what I can do is just make a note at the deposit that it is for use, initially for use of whatever. I'll make sure that it's noted on our paperwork, and then I'll put it in the minutes here too.
Okay.
the only thing, I want to make sure, we were presented with the statement from the senior center in your stuff, okay? Did y'all get that?
Okay.
We only got like $3,000 in there. And we're paying stuff out of it, like,
Well, I think what we would, you're just gonna have to know that, if you look there and you got 28,000, you just got 3.
Yeah.
That's what we gotta look at.
Okay.
Now, East Alabama's not gonna say anything about that, are they?
Oh, God, no, they don't know. Like, they look at the financial process, not necessarily how much money we
Check it,
have.
yeah, okay.
Even though they do see, like monthly, they see their budget of what they're gonna pay us and then what we're spending, which is astronomical difference. They see that, but they don't see financially where we stand. Now, if we had supplied them that audit, obviously they would just see, basically, all they're gonna see is any findings. No, they won't know how much money we have or don't have.
Okay.
And it won't affect us anyway.
Okay.
I couldn't see what's in there anyways.
shouldn't we be letting, Tasha have a copy of the, bank statement for the senior center?
I think that's,
I think what we need to supply Tasha with is a budget, so that she
No,
knows I can spend this, this,
I
and
want to supply her
this.
with the statement.
Well, but the
She
statement's
need-
not
she need-
gonna,
Yeah, the statement shows how much money we got.
but it's not gonna show actually how much the senior center is costing, because so much of the senior center comes out of the general fund.
Well, I know that, but we're paying stuff out of that senior center fund just indiscriminately.
I believe
It won't
she needs
take
a
long.
copy.
I mean, it's public,
I mean, I don't
it's
think
public
it's
knowledge for
perfect.
everybody. Everybody in this room can get a copy if they want to.
I sure can, yeah.
So, I mean, that's not a big deal, but I just want her to understand that you're being subsidized greatly out of the great general fund. I mean, you know,
Right.
just,
Yeah, she can, I can't probably do a bank statement, but I think anything out of the QuickBooks. I'll just ask the MBA, which would be, like, we wanna be sure that we're doing what's right public record wise. I mean, we can't give people bank account numbers and stuff, but, I'm telling y'all, the biggest benefit to her, and you correct me if I'm wrong, would be
It
what?
would be a budget, just to know what I could spend on what. To know,
You don't need to know how much in your account.
to know, well, just to know if I could, what I can spend on supplies, or what I could spend on, you know, crafts, anything like that, just what my budget would be.
Well, I think right now we got $3,000 in there.
34.
And it don't take long to pay for this and this and this, that's not really, you know, it's no different than you paying something over here out of the general fund.
right.
And that's what most towns are doing now. They're doing away with their senior center account, period, and just putting it all under their general fund, because that way they just earmark it under the general fund as to how much money's coming into the senior center, whether it be donation. They only get donations and fundraisers, and from East Alabama. And East Alabama, for the last 2 years now, it's been like $7,500. This year, this fiscal year, $7,500. It's all we're getting.
And why is that?
It's because they pay $65,000 or something like that for the food process or the food that they're getting. It's like the $75,000, but they're only paying like 10%. They told me it's across the board to any senior center. That's all we get is 10%. And they said that we were one of the bigger ones, you know. And so that's how that money works. That's all we get. And we don't get it all at one time now. It comes in sporadically. It used to come in, when I first come there, it came in every quarter. It'd be like split up. It'd be like $1,800 a quarter, something like that. Would be what it would come in. You could depend on that, but they don't do it that way now. We don't get that money in like you think you do.
We
And
haven't
so-
received anything since October, but they have approved our first payment, and it should be coming anytime based on what she said when we were doing the audit. And it is quarterly, just like Rodney said, we're gonna get a check 4 times a year. And I know we're getting our first one almost immediately, and she thought in May we should go ahead and get our second one. So,
But last year, I don't think we got it all. I don't
And
think
why is
we
that?
ever got it all. But they said it was because of we wasn't reporting correctly. Now that goes back to 2023, okay?
Yeah.
There was a lot of things wasn't being reported that should have been reported to get that $7,500.
But we are now.
Which a lot of that is on what I gave you guys at that last meeting, just some of the things that I have to turn in to East Alabama, and that I have to give to Samantha for Samantha to turn into East Alabama. Yeah.
yeah, we are definitely
We're
on
on that.
track.
We are tracking
on track to
everything,
get
everything.
What little bit it is.
Good. Good. We done the bus. Okay, we're going to the new business now. The first thing on the new business, appointment of a council member to replace vacant council member. Now, y'all all have gotten the 3 that I know about, and so we just got to make a decision.
I make a motion to recommend Josh Caldwell to fill the vacant council member seat.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
I'm gonna say no, because I need to vote for someone else.
Christie?
I just don't know. Who else is gonna be nominated?
I'm gonna nominate Zach. I mean, he's my son, that's blood. Everybody understands that. And he's fine if you don't get elected or nominated.
Your father and son be on council together?
You can't. It's now, that only affects state and public employees. I call Rob.
I just think it's too early. I don't think we've had our
Was
net out
either
there.
yes or no?
No.
So you gotta know, I'll break the tie, Josh Caldwell.
You love that, didn't you?
Hmm?
You love that, didn't you?
No,
You did.
you love doing what you do.
It's okay.
Josh was going, he wanted me to tell y'all, he wanted to be here tonight, but he's in Mar-a-Lago, wherever Trump's place is in Florida, and he had a conference that they had planned years back some time ago, and he couldn't get out of it, but he said he wanted to be here, one of y'all know that. Okay.
I just wanted it noted in the minutes as to why I said no.
Okay. Next on here is holiday for town employees. I didn't know today was a holiday. Did y'all?
I did. I didn't take off, but I
You
did.
sent us all an email with it on there.
The funny thing about it, don't involve, like, it's weird how different state employees get affected by Confederate Memorial Day.
Right.
Yeah, it does.
That's crazy.
So I guess we need to decide which holidays our town employees are gonna take. Are we gonna take,
Well, we listed in the handbook, because when I did that handbook for everybody, you know, we voted on, I did it with all state holidays, okay? And I put them all down, but if you'll notice that they're,
and,
like, for example, I'm gonna say June the 10th, they're voting right now on June the 10th. Now, June the 10th is the same day as some other holiday we got, like Robert E. Lee's birthday or something like that. And so they're going to let you choose which one you want to.
why you're taking off?
Yeah, why you're
Okay.
taking off. They're gonna add it, to my understanding, they're gonna add it to the state holidays. But all you gotta do is look on your phone, pull up all state holidays, and it'll tell you what the holidays are.
Well, that was, so what, should they have been off today?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay.
But it's like, I got in touch with Daniel, I said, did you know if that was a holiday? And he said, not really. He didn't really worry about it, you know. But what can happen is, from our standpoint, we just have to,
See, like the post office wasn't off that.
The bank wasn't closed,
But
and
the
all
bank
the
wasn't
kids were
closed.
in school.
but the courthouse is
The
closed.
courthouse, is closed.
Yeah.
So,
Our manual says all state holidays.
but then, so we need to get our manual and our,
We need to amend the manual, is that what you're saying, or?
well, we
I
just,
think so. I think we need to add or take
we
away,
need to do, you know, so that they'll know, just like, you know,
like Good Friday wasn't in there.
No, it wasn't.
yeah, but, so I guess, which one, are we gonna zig or we're gonna zag?
Well,
We
that'll
also
be up
didn't
to y'all. If you-
take President's Day, you know, I told y'all that, we didn't take President's Day, but yet it's listed.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's mass confusion, so.
It is, and
But
even,
but it is in the manual, so we can go ahead and, if you want to, you can, the council can change that. They can amend that to say what you want it to say.
Can we do this? Can we move that, since now it's on our radar, can we move that to the work session along with
Yes.
the budget?
Yes, let's do that.
And if we can
Okay.
have a copy of whatever page that is in the manual,
Okay,
then we can look and say, all right, let's add these days. If we need to take away a day, make everybody work on Saturday, 3 o'clock or something.
Okay, since y'all are talking about the employee handbook, understand that an employee handbook has to be verified, you voted on, y'all got to vote that this is the official copy.
we've
Once-
already done that.
Well, there's discrepancies in there, like, there's sick pay refers to like, sick pay down here refers to vacation pay, but it says, like, there's some inconsistencies in there, and I've earmarked those, so we may wanna just take a minute to look at that whole thing, but
Yeah.
unless every employee is supplied that, and you've signed off on every employee that they have that, it's not worth the paper it's written on.
Is it online? Is
Yeah.
it on our website?
Didn't I give you one?
Yeah, I have a copy of it.
Yeah.
An electronic copy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You need a copy?
I got one in my office in there somewhere.
I probably have, if they were given, I've got it. I just don't,
Okay.
I'd have to go dig it up.
I can't find mine.
All right, Samantha, can you add that to our work session, discuss the holidays, and then let's look at those pages where we've got vacation and sick days? Okay.
We're gonna do that in a work session.
Let's do
right?
that at work session. I don't think we need to battle that out tonight. 'Cause I don't have a copy.
The next holiday's not Memorial Day, I think.
I have it right here if y'all want to, I can email it to you.
That'd be great.
Well, now, the police are taking their today, tomorrow,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
right? Okay. And we'll just have to go back and pick up whatever else we're missing, whenever y'all decide.
Okay. Okay. Dropping down the next thing, reimbursement process for town employees. I have no idea.
Christie, do you have that form? I could pull it up.
I do. Did you get the form I emailed?
I did.
Okay, so, it was requested that I send a form, kind of like what we are, exactly what we use at school. I did edit it a little bit to take off some things, but, and this is what we do at school, and I think it's probably pretty common as to what businesses do as well, but, at the end of each month, it has mileage, the date, the to and from, the reason, and the mileage, and then how much, we owe. And it also includes meals and lodging, so like when you go to a conference or when whoever goes to a conference. Or like the meal that you had the other day, you would just put that on there, meal with Alabama Power, whoever that was. I
Attach
don't
your
remember.
receipts.
And attach receipts and turn it in like the week before our meeting.
Well, see, I got a problem with that, because, this is just me, okay? But if we wait a month, if I put something on my credit card, okay? By the time I turn it in, my bill comes in, I have to pay my Visa bill or whatever by the 21st. So if I wait till one month, to turn it in, then I'm behind. And then, about paying. Now, the way it was, I'm just going back when I was with Alpha, they paid you as you go. You just turned it in and they paid you. And there was a record there. In other words, you'd have a form to fill out, but they would pay you right then. I don't know why we gotta wait a month. That's my question.
Well, I'm not saying that you do, I'm just
I'm-
saying what we do and how much, just on a general, just saying. Like, how much are you being reimbursed every month? Just,
I'm not, really, truthfully, unless I go for a meeting or something like that, to meet with, something about town business. That's the only time I do it. And it ain't that much.
and see, that's
It
what.
never has been that much.
Right, and that's what I was talking to Dennis, about it. I think you turned it in on a Tuesday, or goes the 17th, so on a Wednesday.
See, I turned one in back in February. Then I turned in that, the biggest one I've ever turned in, I guess, was going to Montgomery when Chris and I went down there. It's about that vehicle. That's the biggest one I've ever done. Mine usually run, you know, no more than 75. Most of the time it's 50 or less, you know. But I'm just saying that it ain't gonna kill me, you know, one way or the other. But I shouldn't have to be penalized paying my bill for waiting 1 month. Then once we wait 1 month, then you gotta wait till when you gonna get paid. You know, when you gonna get paid next.
Well, I think it was like we talked about, the reason I'm even saying 1 month is, weren't we supposed to approve all reimbursements?
Well,
Did we
you
not
can.
did we not decide to do that?
Yeah, you can.
And so, in order to approve them, it would have to be
Have to be at monthly meetings.
at a monthly meeting. Now, I can understand if it were $600, $700, $800, $900 or something like that, but we're talking about $23.42.
That was done back
In- no, that was done-
February.
No, I'm talking about what was done on the 17th, on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was $23.42. And,
And that was before all this ever come up. You know what I'm saying? Nothing had been decided. And I still didn't pay. So,
and
I know, in my past, I've always turned it in, and when I got it, I got it.
well, that's
And
what,
it's usually once a month.
every,
Hey, sometimes I got it in, you know,
yeah.
an additional check deposited, or I got that second check on paper checks for being delivered. And I just went ahead, and I understand what you're saying, you know, I got a credit card deal like on the second.
Yeah.
And so, you
My
know,
daughter don't have to pay a late.
I got one on 31st and one on the second, so I have to, you know,
So it's according to when you buy.
I just know that I'm gonna pay it and I'm gonna get my money back next week or so, whenever.
Yeah.
So I always did it that way, and that's the way I would take it right now, if that was the case, and just, I don't know, I'm to the point like where I just want to, you know, $23 here, $23 there, 75 here, 75 there, we just look at, you know, it's just, it adds up, nickels and dimes add up in my category. And I think it just goes back to what I like to use the words, transparency and accountability. I really do. I like those two words to make sure that this is being ran that way, that we owe it to the folks outside this building or the folks inside the building tonight, that where their money's going. I don't know, that's just, like I said, that's me, and I feel like that.
what do you think about it, Dennis? You're a business person.
Well, when I was with the timber company, it's been several years ago, we would turn it in, and they had like a net 20 days to pay us.
For your reimbursement?
Yes, and we didn't have to wait that month, because our gas bill each month, it could get high,
Why, yeah.
very
Thousands,
high.
probably.
Oh, yeah.
Well, what do you think
Like
about
me,
it?
I had the south part of the Georgia.
Yeah,
Well, I might burn, say, 2 tanks of gas in one day.
yeah. So that's talking about, what do you think, you a bookkeeper?
So, right now, yours is just mileage, right? Or
Yeah,
meals or
well-
something like that?
Sometimes, you know, it could be a meal or like going off to the conference. I'm not gonna get to go this year because I got some weddings going on at the same time. But the annual conference is coming up in May for the League of Municipalities, and I have been to 2 already. And since I have been mayor, there has never been a question, nothing. Paid, you know, where do I go, get paid. You know, it has never been a question. And I promise you, I'm not going to, I'm not going to put something down that's not there. I'm just not, I'm not.
I don't think anyone's saying that, I just think,
Yeah.
you know, I've been under 3 or 4 right now,
Yeah.
and something new has come up every time.
Yeah.
You know, with the mayor, this is what we need to do for the mayor, this is what, I think it's just evolving of the times, and I mean, I think personally, we're behind the times on that. I really
It's
do.
like most places, for example, They furnish a car for the mayor. Rather than paying mileage, they furnish a car. I don't think that's necessary myself. It hadn't been for 3.5 years now, you know.
Well, you know, and this just doesn't involve you, this involves them, it
Yeah.
involves those guys, you
Right.
know. And so, like I said, you know, it seems like seem like you may be taking it like it's towards you.
No, I'm
But
not.
this
No.
is for everybody, and I just feel like if we're gonna do it for, you know, let's go ahead and get it done, hey, you know. if you
We
get-
also have, y'all do know, we have a town debit card. And like if Tasha needs it, she comes and checks it out. Jeremy needed it the other day, he checks it out, and they go and do whatever they need to do. And that way there's no delay.
And that way I
So
can
that's
do it. I
also-
can also do that too.
Do that.
That might be all right.
But where I am as a clerk is I need to be sure that you guys are visible of what's being spent. In every instance. I don't want to approve that. Like, I don't want to approve that. And if I'm handing out a debit card without saying, what are you gonna do? To me, that's what I'm doing. So just keep that in mind and let's talk, tell me how you view it.
But when they bring the debit card back, there's a receipt attached to it, and before you know what you did,
Always.
you know, so. I don't know, I think when people go on mileage and you do the meals and the lodging and all that, I think that needs to be documented. One for audit, for budget, you know, audit big time. I mean, I come in 10 cents off, I'm going to my desk and a dime from each and say, hey, there it is, put it in there, you know.
I love the form. I think
I do
the form
too. I think
is
it's-
clear.
It's saved my tail a lot of times in the past. I think it's gonna save people in the future when it comes to, it's just a documentation. It's another sense of responsibility that we're hiring responsible people, or people are working for us that are responsible.
All of the ones I've ever done, you could fill in the blank
Yeah, that's all these are.
off of that form. In other words, it'd be just, I'm doing this in a, here's where I went, this is what I went for, this is how many miles I went, this is,
So you don't have a paper copy of what you
I
sent.
sent a PDF.
I've
and
got
all they have to
one,
do is print
I
it
got
off.
one somewhere.
Okay.
I sent it as a working,
Yeah, you did.
Google Doc,
Mhm.
and then I sent it as a PDF in case, I didn't know if you
Yeah.
did Google or not.
I got it,
But you could print it off and fill it out.
right. And I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem at all about doing that. And like I said, and I'm talking, not just about myself, I'm talking about everybody, okay? If you do that, you know, I just think that holding that for a month is a detriment, not just to me, I'm talking about all employees by doing that, by holding the whole month. That's just, you know, that's my opinion about that on behalf of all the employees.
Now, you won't always hold it a month, y'all keep that in mind. Like, I'm gonna run checks on the 15th, I'm running them on the 30th or 31st. So if it comes in on the 12th, the only problem is that y'all need to look at it. So like, let's say it comes in on the 20th, well, when y'all look at it, well then, that might be 5 days. You see what I'm saying? And I'll just put it in to review. But now if you run one on, if you do it on the 1st, and our meeting's not till the 22nd, well then it's gonna be 20-something, because then I'm gonna wait until the 30th to run checks. Just kind of keep that in mind.
That's the reason why I suggest that we have checks run once a week. I've gotten complaints about people not getting paid.
From who?
I got from ADECA.
DECA did not complain.
They most certainly did. I'm sorry, I don't mean to holler, but that's the truth.
It's not the truth. Show us where they complained.
He sent an email to you.
Right, ask him when the
Ask
checks
him.
were gonna be run.
That's right.
It was not a complaint.
That's a complaint.
Okay,
It's an inquiry.
Huh?
that's an inquiry.
It's an inquiry, but they were asking me too.
So because they ask you, then it becomes a complaint, it's
Yeah,
not an
it's-
inquiry?
It's a complaint to me because here we are working with the state of Alabama, Department of Economic Development.
I work with the state of Alabama every day. I understand what that
But I
means.
just think that, I think it's ridiculous that we can't pay checks once a week. I mean, what's the holdup? Why are we waiting? What's the reason for waiting?
The terms, and I have all that, I thought we were going into executive session, but I'm happy to grab the documentation to share with all y'all. Standard terms, unless they are explicit on an invoice, are 30 days. And I had the documentation that came from MDA Consultants. I reached out to them, they said, gave me the documentation and said standard unless it's specified. So I just went through literally random and grabbed like this one, this one, this one. I've already shown Dennis like 30 days, 30 days, 30 days, 30 days. Or some of them will say like, I don't know, maybe by the 10th of the following month. So you almost get 40 days. So standard, like from my previous job, and I'm not saying that that's the perfect scenario, but we would use that as a bargaining tool. Like, we would ask people, okay, well, if we pay within 10 days, you'll give us a discount, 110.30, that's what we got, 110.30, and we got a discount. But standard across the board is 130. But that's not what people are having. Like, if you get an invoice on the 13th, and I'm paying bills on the 15th, that's when they're getting it. It's not always 30 days, but it makes it easier in QuickBooks to not sit down. Y'all, I was working myself to death. So then I started to realize that everybody else is not doing that. They're paying checks once a month. So in my mind, it just kind of overtook me to do it once a month. So I said, okay, well, I'll do twice a month. That is so typical of a business. And that is what we are, is a business. We are not individuals. We are a business.
We have always, since I've been mayor, we have always paid checks as they come in. We've had that reputation. And now we're getting away from that reputation.
But nobody is complaining unless we can verify that complaint. I mean, that's where we are. If somebody's complaining, say so, and we'll make sure that, I mean, I have two individuals, not individuals, but I have two businesses that ask immediately to get paid. I'll stop right then, and I pay them, and I've called Dennis on a couple of occasions and said, can you get down here and sign a check? Because I know that is not typical, and I would not do it unless that was the case. So if somebody is complaining, say so. Say who it is, and we'll fix it.
Well, I'm old school, and I would like to see it once a week, but now I've got just one say-so.
What did you do as a bookkeeper at the school?
I did it twice a month unless something come up and you had to write another one in between times, you did it. But
That was
I'd have
school.
30 to 50 checks every time I did a run.
And I probably have that many. I probably have 20, oh gosh, I probably have 20 to 30 checks each run. And I'm just not going, I mean, what sense does it make to sit down and run checks every day, call them, come sign them every day, go to the mailbox every day? I mean, what are we doing here?
I said once a week.
Well, Jim started that. He moved it up to once a week instead of paying, when you got them. He was the one that moved it up to once a week. And he'll verify that. And me and Sam was talked about this, correct?
We have.
I mean, as soon as I get a bill, I pay it and take it to you.
Yeah.
Old school.
That's old school.
That's okay.
We are way past that now. And it is perfectly okay. But that is not where we are as a business. That is not the
Well,
business
as a
world.
business, I would like to see once a week.
But you say you got two local businesses you pay when they ask.
One of them's not even local, one is local and one is not. And they're on occasion, I paid them once. I'm just saying.
Well, I've been called up with Pamela, Jeannie. I have been called up, well, Sam was calling during the day saying they need their money
And I'm okay with that.
ASAP. And
I would never do
I
that.
I would come as quick as I could,
Of course.
cause I feel like
And if we can't pay somebody, like, I think nobody's expecting it right then, like, it's just a kind of a courtesy in some situations, but, that is the exception and not the rule. And,
Who's making the road?
well, it's, I can send it to you from MDA
Are you
Consultant.
making, are you making the rule, or is the council making the road?
I don't know, council, y'all speak up.
Are we gonna vote on it or something?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. Are we voting on it and how much to write checks? I mean, I didn't even realize that was gonna be up for discussion.
Chad, can you help us out with this? Is this something that you,
I don't think it's illegal.
No.
Is it not?
That's
I mean, no, I mean, I think
It's
it's
our
just,
problem, our issue.
I mean, I could, no, I mean, it's just what, it's not illegal.
I know, I mean, if we're gonna vote on how many times we're gonna write a check, do we need to do that? Do we need to vote on that?
Well, go back to reimbursement, because I do need to know.
Yeah, that's what I'm still stuck on. I didn't know what we was doing
Yeah,
here.
I don't know.
I still, I mean, if that form's good with whomever, like I said,
I
I
wish I
could
could.
edit it, I could pull it up, something, I don't know.
I wish I could
It's all right.
see one. See,
I got one somewhere.
I haven't seen it.
If you get rid of voters, this is new, it just happened, right, they're just voting on it right now. You're okay.
I'm gonna be fine with it.
it's travel form? Random travel form. So, now you have to realize this is, you know, not in the base, but anyway, just, name, address, the date, points of travel from and to, purpose of the trip, miles, meals, lodging, and other. And at the bottom, you just multiply it time, you give the total miles times the rate, total due for miles, and then, of course, meals, lodging, and that. And then the signature of the traveler.
Very simple.
And then the date the council approved.
Yeah, thank you.
So, and it's, I sent it two different ways. You can either, they can either edit it in the Google Doc, or they can print it out, old school, as you say,
Yeah.
and do it on paper. Either one.
I know, switching gears again, I know at church, we still pay once a week. She may have 10 bills to come in, she may have 2. We still do it at church. We don't want nobody to have to be waiting on their money.
I guess my thing, as long as people get paid. I mean, if we got people needing once a week, get it once a week, it's
Oh.
not every other week. I don't know. I didn't realize we had this.
I want it once a week. Because that's what we've always done.
I'm gonna vote to approve that reimbursement piece of paper.
And approve it, and how, but how are we going, how often are we gonna do it? I mean,
So what if Tasha goes and buys $50 worth of toilet paper for the senior center?
she's gonna have a debit card.
You're gonna have a debit card. Well, I saw her name on the.
Yeah, there's
she's
been
got
times
checks
where
before.
She's had to pay it.
there's been times where I've done it and
So
then
what's
sent
gonna do
in.
about that? That's
Well,
gonna
she'll
be
fill
same
out the
situation.
form. I mean,
But she'd have to wait till the end.
Well, you can, what I'm saying is, you're gonna see whatever is paid anyway. You know what I'm saying? And if you got a question about it, whatever, then you got a question. That's the way it's always been in the past. If there was ever a question, and they said, Rodney, what did you do here? You know, why are you paying this right here? Well, there's a file on it. But that's the way it's always been. It's been kept that way. And then
I
if you
think
have
turning
a
it
question,
in.
if you question what was paid, there is a file on it that you can see.
That would be the file.
But
Yeah, that would be the file. That's
turning,
what I'm saying.
turning it in on Wednesday and expecting a check on Thursday is not.
I said once a week.
I know, but you were mad on Thursday that the check wasn't given to you. And you turned it in on Wednesday, and it was $23. And we have a child, our whole town is mourning a loss, and we're worried about $23.42. That's what we're fussing about. And what is and is not gonna be on the agenda. I think we really need to get our bearings straight, and we need to put things in perspective.
Well, I'm talking about business for the town.
table, we're gonna have, we can't sit, we fix it, and let's just table that, let's go with it further. Just keep the report, and, because we're backing up, we're not doing any good right now.
Well, if you wanna do it once a month, that's up to y'all. That's up to the council to do that.
We should write checks twice a month right now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But we're talking about this form right here.
I say you still do the form.
Yeah, you still do the
Do
form.
the form, but
You're talking about that, like, you gotta wait before the council meeting to approve the form.
Yeah, once
that
a
what-
month,
is that
that's what
what
I'm
we're-
talking about, yeah.
so maybe if she pays on the 15th and the 30th or 31st, maybe turn in the travel on the 15th and 30th, and if it's over a certain amount, then we need to approve it and he'll have to wait.
What was that, $1,000, isn't that what we said?
That's
Yeah.
not 1,000,
But
Yeah.
we're gonna put down on reimbursement, 1,000, same 1,000?
yeah,
I'm saying,
yeah, I don't see one wrong.
fine with it. Anything travel expenses over that, over 1,000, it's gotta come from us. Expect if you're gonna spend 1,000, it's gotta come from us.
Yeah, you gonna
Right.
spend the night?
I hope not. I'm
So
too old
Trevor
for
made
that.
a motion to accept that form.
Mhm.
Did anybody make a second?
Second.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Okay, Christie and Dennis.
That was on that travel form.
And so,
Yes.
the next thing was,
So we're good on the reimbursement, so.
okay. So it won't be paid, but,
So that way.
so we don't meet but once a month.
Correct,
Let's see.
So,
You don't have to have it approved,
if it's under
under
$1,000.
$1,000.
okay,
Yes, but if you
All right.
want 2 checks a month, you make sure you get that first travel to Samantha before the 15th and the next
Right.
one by the 30th.
okay,
See
that's
what's
for
that?
all employees, okay?
Yeah.
For any expense,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah, under $1,000.
Right, under 1,000, okay? We do it, we make a motion on that?
We just did it.
All right, that's done. Okay, all right, good deal. All right, let's get off of that and go to the next one, a per diem for town employees. I don't know nothing about that either.
I think town employees ought to have a, like when you go, I know we talked about the reimbursement, but
Yeah,
how do we do this, like $40 a meal or $40 a day to eat?
That's what we need to put in our employee handbook.
Yes.
We'll work on it.
Yes,
Yeah.
so let's add that to the work session,
okay,
on per
Work
diem,
session.
work session, and let's add a per diem in the handbook.
okay. That's fair
Thank
enough.
you, Mitch. I know we had talked about it.
Okay, so we're done with that.
Yep.
Okay, so the next thing is expectation of guests when in executive session.
Do you want me to speak on that since I asked for it?
I guess,
Okay.
yeah.
I just wanted to bring this up because last week, or a couple of weeks ago, when we were in executive session, it was kind of questioned as to why, if we're having a public meeting, why are we going into private? And the answer to that is anytime that we are talking about the good name and character of someone, we go into executive session, and that is not public knowledge. So that's why we go into executive session, to preserve someone's good name and character. And while we were in executive session, there was some kind of inappropriate behavior within the crowd, kind of questioning and pretty much battering and bashing town employee, and that is not acceptable, and I'm hoping that that won't ever happen again. Of course, it's okay to talk, but it's not okay to question and bash our employees.
What
That would
provoked
be-
that?
I don't know. I asked Tasha, since she was not in the verbal. From what I gather, from what she texted me, it sounds like someone said, why are we going into, or is this a public meeting if it's gonna be private? And to me, is that what started the verbal? And so then it just kind of went from there, and,
So you weren't in here. None of us were in there.
No, that's right.
Okay,
I had several
So-
people tell me though,
okay.
that, and it wasn't,
Did you-
Samantha
was it-
didn't tell me.
Well, was it the guests that were here? Did you talk to all the guests?
I talked to two of the guests,
Okay.
plus Tasha, and then the police officer that was here knows.
I got a suggestion.
Okay.
In the future, and this is the way we used to do it, I think Mitzi brought this up to me, and I think it's a good idea. You know, in the past, when we had a meeting, if we had an executive session, we made everybody go outside. My opinion is the employees don't need to be talking to guests. And when they go outside, I don't care if they're outside or if they're in this building or whatever, the employees do not need to be talking business, town business of any kind to a guest, because that's what causes that to happen. We can eliminate that like we did in the past. We just asked everybody to leave while we're in executive session. We could do that right here and ask everybody to leave, because we don't really have a good place to get to the truth. These laws in here are paper thin. And so, we have to be careful about that. So that's just a suggestion on my part. I don't know how everybody else feels about that, but that's really where we're at.
Well, and employees talking to guests, but then guests talking to employees too. I mean,
Well, it is,
both
I'm
ways.
saying, but you need to talk to everybody, you know,
Well, if he were here tonight, I would ask him,
yeah.
but he's not here tonight, so.
Well,
Can I say something, Ronnie?
yeah,
You're getting awful close to a free speech deal right there. And you can't go into executive session. He can answer this better than I can. But say you want to talk to Samantha about her job performance or whatever, you can't go into executive session and do that. You can't go to the police chief, you can't go into executive session and talk about him, you gotta do it in a public meeting. It's like us, if it's a department head, or it's our administrator, you gotta do it in a public meeting. Where it's negotiating salary, or rebuffing them for something they did wrong, or you can't go into executive session. And far as what people say, well, you're in executive session, that's free speech. You're gonna get your butt in trouble when you start trying to stop that.
that's part of the Open Meetings Act, isn't it?
I mean,
Is that right?
you can ask somebody to leave the meeting, but you can't tell them they can't talk if y'all are out of the room. No.
What's true. See, when we convene into executive session, the meeting stops right there.
Yeah.
And then when we come back in, we have to reconvene to go forward, okay?
See, I always thought you could go into executive session to talk about anybody, but it's not that way. State law doesn't say, like these two right here, you can't go into executive session and talk about them. You gotta do it in an open meeting.
Well, if you talk about the good name and character, you can, or reputation.
But what about job performance?
Our attorney says you
Absolutely
gotta do
not.
it in an open meeting.
No.
I think if it's disciplinary, you can. If you're talking about somebody with a good name and character, you can go into executive session.
Well, that's what I've always thought too.
I don't even disagree with you, but
Oh, I'm
If
just
it's-
telling you what our attorney says.
if it's job performance, if it's just about somebody's job performance, no, that's not a proper topic for executive session. But if it's a good name and character, reputation, or a disciplinary matter, then you can.
That's what I've always heard.
And so what is the law of the visitors that are left behind?
I kind of halfway agree with you. I don't think you can just say you can't talk out here.
Well, I'm not saying you can't talk, but she was berated.
That's your opinion.
Well, I mean, if somebody is being disruptive, I think you can ask them to leave if they're disruptive of a meeting.
I've got a letter.
Well, show it to
What
me.
about a councilman that's actually leaving? Can you ask, what do you do about that?
Yeah.
Somebody should have asked me to leave that night. And somebody should have also asked you to leave.
I was
So
not-
we should have both been asked to leave that
I was
night.
not ugly, you were. I thought it
Well,
was
I
nice.
played-
You're not on the agenda to speak right now.
well. Got the letter, and I'll be glad to share. I'm gonna have to make, y'all want a copy of it? Okay. We'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and make a copy of it, because you need it.
There's actually some guidelines about the executive session deal, aren't there?
They're very clear too. They are. But when I brought that up last time, shut it down.
Our attorney is very picky about your executive session.
Yeah, and they should have been. So it's probably a good thing that it's coming up, just make sure we're all clear.
When we hire, like, say we hire an administrator,
You talking about
she's told, or she already, it's a she right now, she's told straight up,
moving him in?
whatever we talk to you, as a commission, you know, one-on-one, you can go talk. But as a commission, it's gonna be public.
Or not that.
sure why he's mentioning a budget, because nobody out here that he was talking to had anything to do.
How do you know that?
I'm not finished saying.
Okay.
None of them had anything to do with not voting on that budget. We plus David are the ones that voted on the budget. Nobody else. Do you remember who voted for your budget?
Yeah.
Do you remember who voted in favor of the budget you
Yes, I
presented?
do.
Do you remember that I voted yes?
Yeah, yeah, but
Okay. So I don't understand why he is even referring to a budget.
well, it was in the paper that there was an Anderson Star article about that.
I probably had big conversations that you and him probably have had to in the past.
Yeah.
You know, that's where they were.
Probably.
He presented it, you know, we didn't approve it. And now that we're on the route, on the road,
Yeah.
But I don't know why that was a topic of conversation.
I think it's I think it's through the Anderson Star or whatever. I think
Was
it's
it
the
just
community-
recently I think Rodney, because he talks to you as being part of the church, as part of the family, which personally, I think everyone is part of that family. Not just his churches, but I think everybody's part of the flock, in my opinion. I mean, I'm not a preacher, but anyway. So we're all God's children.
It's true.
Okay, so we're part of the flock. I think that was just conversations between y'all. I'm totally, probably understanding when I said that comes from you and him's conversations.
Yeah.
And then everything else. I mean, he wasn't here. He don't know, when we were handed the piece of paper. You might have shown it to him. If you did, you didn't, But majority of the council didn't believe it was the right thing to do.
Right.
And we moved on
Time.
at that
At
time.
that time.
At that time. But now, I think, we've got those holes are filled.
Not yet.
No, there's still some holes, and that's fine. That's the reason we're working on it.
That's right. That's the reason we'll have to have one.
But, this document's, 6, 7 pages. That was just one. And anyway, that's gone. Anyway. Personally think it was wrong to attack a city employee that, once again, wasn't even around when this came around.
Well, the city employee was talking to according to that.
We're not gonna, we can
But you know what
discuss that.
I'm just saying, there's always two sides to every story.
I agree.
And we only have one side. Because we
No, you
didn't ask.
had a side before we come in here.
I have never asked
You
her,
said,
I have never asked Samantha what happened. I did not ask for her side. I got what the other side from other people that were here that I did
that
not
when you
even
was out in the
solicit.
parking lot talking to us.
They came to me,
Yeah.
telling me, I didn't even know who those two women were.
Yeah, I don't even know who they are either.
One of them's Carrie Smith's wife, Kathy,
Yeah.
and then another one, I don't even remember her name. She lives in city limits, but I don't know her. I didn't know either one of them.
Was it Sandy McGuire?
Is that who it was?
She don't live in city
Yeah,
limits.
Oh, yours, kinfolk?
Kathy, yes.
Kathy,
Yeah.
the other one not.
I don't know, I don't,
And I don't remember who the other one
But I
was.
still go back to my point, that in the future, to avoid this, like Mitzi said, when we go back, we can't stop them from talking, okay?
No.
But I think that, my personal opinion is, we don't need to be talking town business with, because that's what provoked it. So to eliminate that, I think that we don't do like we did in the past, go outside, do what you gotta do, I mean, why should we have to get up and right here and go somewhere in a room back yonder somewhere? Which we really don't have the room to do that. So, that's just a suggestion on my part, to eliminate this kind of stuff from happening.
just ask them to exit the building the way we done. It's- We ain't never
That's
had
what we
nobody
used to do.
come in upset by it,
Yeah.
I mean,
that I can remember.
Then they come, when we come back in and went back into session, they'd all come back in, and the ones that were still there, you know.
Some of them would go, you want to see come back in?
I don't have a problem with that.
I believe Dixie's got a good.
So how does
idea.
that stop bashing and badgering of a town employee to go outside?
Town employee will not go outside.
Oh, we sit in here.
You
Yeah.
go in your office.
Yeah. That stops that. That's just my opinion.
I think it's a good
And
idea.
that's
It
what
was Steve
Dixie
used to go out with them.
Steve,
reminded me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
all-
a good idea.
I do too.
Now, what happened before Steve had to go, as a matter of fact, I was surprised that Steve, they said he stayed about 20 minutes or something like that, because I asked him, I mean, not Steve, but Barry. As we going, he had told me he had got a ball game he had to go to. When I walked by him, he was the only officer here, and I said, Barry, you can go ahead and go if you want to. But he said he stayed about another 20 minutes.
Well, I think that's a good idea.
Mhm.
If we want to implement that tonight, I mean,
I wish we could. They
Yeah, I think we need to do that.
just exit the building, then we call you back in.
Okay. Everybody out for that? Anybody got any other thing you want to say about the guest?
Appreciate everyone being good tonight.
Huh?
I'm done with that.
Okay, we're done with that. Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna do my dog, no. Hold on. Okay, there's been a suggestion made to go into executive session.
I'll make a motion to go in executive session. I said we go in at 8:50, you got 8:56? All right, 7:56, I'm sorry. I'll be there in 30 minutes.
So at this time, we'll ask visitors to leave.
who seconded that?
Y'all didn't even know that.
Oh, I thought he made a motion.
I made a motion.
Did you? Okay, I
I made a
didn't hear
motion,
it.
but nobody seconded, yes.
Certainly.
Christie said it.
Okay.
For 30 minutes.
Since we're going out, I'm gonna cut my recorder off. Okay, stop it.
Stopping yours too?
And everybody agrees to go into executive session, you each have to.
Yes.
Like verbally say yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's amazing.
Y'all wanna go back in right now?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to go back into regular session.
Okay, hold on just a second.
I'm sorry.
Trevor
I second.
and Mitzi.
Second.
And Dennis and Christie.
Yes.
Dennis?
Yes.
What time is it?
9:50.
Okay.
I make a motion, we adjourn the meeting.
Got a
Second.
motion second. Thank you.
Who seconded it? Christie and Dennis, y'all good?
Yes.
I think that's good.
Y'all be